Tuesday, October 15. Hearing or not hearing the word. Read John chapter 1, verses 9 to 13. What harsh reality is John depicting here about how people respond to Jesus? John chapter 1, beginning at verse 9. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God. The prologue, John 1, verses 1 to 18, describes not only who Jesus Christ, the Word, Logos, is, but also how people in the world related to him. In John 1, verse 9, he is called the true light who enlightens every person coming into the world. That light illumines the world, making it understandable. As C.S. Lewis puts it, I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. And that's from Is Theology Poetry, page 15. Also, look at the implications of what John 1:9 is saying. Light comes to everyone. Not everyone welcomes the light. As we see in tomorrow's study, a major theme in the Gospel of John is how people receive or reject Jesus. That theme begins here. The sad litany is that the Messiah came to his people, his own people, the people of Israel, and many did not receive him as the Messiah. In Romans 9 and 10 and 11, Paul deals with the same tragic theme of many Jews rejecting Jesus. But Paul doesn't end on a negative note, saying in fact that many Jews, along with Gentiles, will accept Jesus as their Messiah. Indeed, he warns the Gentiles not to boast against the Jews, for, as he says in Romans 11:24, if you were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a cultivated olive tree, how much more will these, who are natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? In a similar vein, John says that all who do receive Jesus as their Saviour will become the children of God. This happens by believing on his name, as we read in John chapter 1, verses 12 and 13. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, children born not of natural descent, nor of human decision or a husband's will, but born of God. Here is the connection between the prologue and the conclusion of the Gospel. In John 20, verse 31, the Apostle presents why he wrote, that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life by his name. Thus, the introduction and the conclusion form a kind of unity. They are related concepts that enclose all that occurs between them. This linkage points to the overarching goal of the Gospel of John, that people will be saved by believing on Jesus Christ as their Saviour. And so to finish today, how has your life changed by becoming a son or a daughter of God? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.